What's up, and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, episode 133.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And we have a special guest in the house.
Hello.
So
Hello. I am the special guest. Do I
Welcome.
introduce myself as well, or?
we'll go down the line. So if anybody's new, welcome. Join us over in the live chat. We have a live chat going. If you're watching later, no worries. Comment down below. So introductions. Also, if you're new or if you've been here before, welcome back. Hello, I'm Carrie Lane.
I'm Katie Cullen.
And I'm Mauricio Ortiz-Segura.
Yay! Welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Of course. Thank y'all for having me. I always love coming on to do stuff like this and talk about classic nerd stuff. I mean, I've been a nerd my whole life, so I mean, this is right up my alley.
Sweet.
So now I'm curious as to what you consider to be classic nerd stuff, because like everyone's got a slightly different answer.
I mean, there's many different genres of nerd stuff, right? I mean,
What's your flavor?
What's yours?
I'm big anime, big otaku guy.
All right.
But I mean, I've dabbled in like basically every realm of nerddom there is. You know, you've got your Star Wars, you've got your Marvel, you've got your DC, you've got your D&D, you got me all over the place. I can play around in basically any fandom except Lord of the Rings. I have not checked out Lord of the Rings yet.
You've never seen it?
No, I've seen, I think, a Hobbit movie, and I was quickly told by my friend that was not what I should have watched. So,
yeah, your friend's right.
Yeah, and so shout out Marianne. She's trying to put me on Lord of the Rings, so I guess we're gonna try and watch Lord of the Rings at some point.
Yeah.
All right.
As much fun as a marathon is, I'd say spread them out one per weekend.
He said do the marathon, so we've got conflicting views here.
You know what? This is like a great New Year's thing, you know, where you're just going to be up for a long time. Anyways, do a Lord of the Rings New Year's marathon. Just an idea.
I mean, it depends on how you consume media. After about my 6th or so hour in a marathon, my brain just clocks out and everything else after that is just gray. So for me, if you're doing the extended editions, that's like a third of the way into 2 towers, which is not a good time to clock out of a marathon.
Right.
So again, my recommendation is 1 a night or 1 a weekend, or however you want to spread it out. They're long. The extended editions are longer. They're quality, but you know.
Circling back to anime, though, I do have a question for you, our special guest. Mauricio, what are your top 3 or 5 anime?
Oh, top 3 or 5 anime. Number 1, it's got to be One Piece.
All right.
I'm nothing if not consistent about my love for One Piece.
Nice.
It's just got such a level of world building that hasn't been beat for me in the realm of anime yet. And it's just a world that you can easily get lost into, and it's not to mention that literally the main cast of characters are such an enjoyable bunch to watch, and the fact that we haven't even seen like every crew member interact with everybody just leaves so much left to be desired of what Oda could create. So I mean, One Piece is easily number 1 up there for me.
Sidebar, who's your favorite Straw Hat?
Favorite Straw Hat. I'm very, very partial to Nico Robin. Robin is, I love her story. I love her characterization. She's so different from everybody else on the crew. Everybody else is very, you know, you've got Zoro, who's also like pretty serious, but she's got like the sense of humor that like makes everybody feel like, wow, what? You know, I feel like that's just not something that she's very unique in terms of the sort of mature vibe she brings to a very immature crew that is only matched by Jinbei, who just joined. So,
yes.
I mean,
okay.
Jinbei's having his post-retirement crisis joining the crew, whereas I don't know. It's it's fun.
That's right.
It's fun.
So
he thought he was good and retired there. Oh, yep.
So you said
so that's
you got
1. That's your top.
That's right. That's my
and
top
in no particular order, in case of others that you're like,
Okay, in no particular order, and I'm not by any means saying this is objective. This is all very subjective.
Of course, that's why it's your favorites.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed Cowboy Bebop when I watched it. Cowboy Bebop, it might be a very easy answer to say, but I don't think I've ever like hung to the like edge of my seat like almost after every episode, wanting to watch more. I think that show I absolutely marathoned for
Mm.
2 days, and I got through it, and I was like, "Wow, I feel very empty inside now that it's over." Uh,
And then you watched the
uh,
movie.
I didn't see the live action. I heard that the live action was very not up to
There's
par.
mixed opinions.
It depends on who you talk to.
Yeah.
It really
Okay.
does.
Well, I haven't seen it yet. Maybe I'll give it a shot later on. I mean, the live action One Piece was good for me.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
very different. Yeah.
yeah, live action animes differ
Very tricky.
very,
Yeah.
very wildly. So,
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's you.
but yeah, that's two. For me, Kuroko's basketball. I watched it growing up while I was playing basketball, and I remember after practice I would practice Kuroko's like ignition pass, where he just like puts his palm on the ball and goes boom, and it makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense why that would work. But
Because
I would try
anime.
it.
Because anime.
Because anime, and I was trying to make it come to life, and
Mm.
it wouldn't work very often. And I even practiced this wacky shot that like was really dumb and was really bad form. Kuroko's basketball. It was just a level of hype that I guess I hadn't gotten from a lot of other anime that I'd seen. This is more of like a childhood favorite than anything.
That's fine.
But I really, really enjoyed that and just the dynamic between Kagami and Kuroko. That's three. Number 4 and 5 are left.
You can stop at 3 if
You
you
could-
want. We
yeah.
did say 3 or 5. It's up to you.
Jeez. Hold on. I gotta look through my list.
I was gonna say what pops
if
into
we do
mind, 'cause
3
that
for
can
now,
change too.
It's like if we could do 3 for now and then come back to 4 and 5 at the end of things. See
Well,
if they
I'll give
jostle
you-
free in a little bit.
I'll give you a moment to look while I look over in the chat too. We got Rab Adler in the chat. Live. So yes, they're live. Yes.
I think that's I live.
I live. I was gonna go with live.
Regardless.
Yes,
Hello.
Giga Derek says howdy. And also, it's Giga Derek's birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And you're
Happy
spending it
birthday,
watching
Giga
us?
Derek.
Fam.
Yeah.
Wow.
Happy birthday.
John Knight says hello, ladies, and Mauricio.
Hello, John. How you doing, man?
We also got Untitled on Purposes in the chat, and she gives a shout out to Giga Derek. Yay.
Ooh.
So yes,
I did think of one. I thought of
okay.
It's the only thing to have made me cry like in multiple episodes.
Okay.
It was Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
Oh yeah. That
one,
yeah.
I cried multiple times throughout watching it, and then I watched the movie, and then I cried again. It was really, really impressive writing.
Okay.
I was really, really impressed by the end of it, and I didn't watch a lot of I guess more. I wouldn't say it's shoujo, maybe more slice of life-ish. I've been getting more into like more slice of life. Like Kaguya-sama Love is War. That's one of my favorite comedies that's out as well. So there we go. That's 5.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, that is top tier. So
well, the other one that is gonna be now your favorite too.
That's right.
My Hero, you're next. Tell our viewers how you're involved with this new film that's out.
So My Hero Academia, You're Next is a pretty dope movie. You should definitely check it out. I'm trying to find check it out. I've been a big fan of My Hero Academia my whole life. And so getting to join the series as Giulio Gandini, the mysterious Italian butler who shows up in Japan for some reason and is on a mission to do something in particular that I will not spoil. But my involvement is, I guess it's hard to talk about him because it's the trailers kept them purposefully vague, which is really interesting. I didn't even hear a line out of me. I was really worried. I was like,
oh,
why are there no lines? I guess it was just to keep the character more vague, which is funny because in the Japanese trailers they use some of his lines, but I guess for the dub they just wanted to keep him a little more mysterious. But he's very cool. He's very calm. And it's hard to get under his skin, but there is one topic in particular throughout the whole movie that does get under his skin. And you'll be able to notice it pretty much right away as soon as you tune in, if you go and watch it in theaters.
What was something that stood out to you about this character, either character design or the journey that he takes, or anything that stood out to you when you initially got the role?
And how much did you know about him going in?
Fantastic question. I knew zero about him going in. So I didn't know anything about him going in, which is a very unique situation to be in because I had never had that happen before. Even for most animes that I've dubbed and most projects that I've done for like video games and animation, I've at least gotten the script or something beforehand. And you can request the script, but I didn't. And I guess that made it a little more challenging going in because I, at the same time, had to discover his character and become his character within the span of at least the first 30 minutes. Like I had to completely understand his character and what he was about and what he was doing, and try and make his actions and motivations feel a lot more real. Because a big thing I tend to go for in my performances is that I tend to make them feel grounded. Of course, there are those anime reads that are still plenty present in the dubs that we have today, because those are classic. People still like that type of performance. But for me, I really dig the more grounded, maybe still a bit theatrical, but almost on camera types of reads.
Okay.
Especially because I got my start in on camera in theater. Okay. And so moving into VO, I tried to keep that sort of realism in order to make all the characters that I play feel at least a bit real. And of course, I'll sprinkle the theatrical bits in there, and you'll get those anime reads when I have to get like up and crazy and energetic. Like in one of my roles, Fleo, he's a very emotional guy, and so if something's bothering him, he's like, "What? That's crazy!" Like he'll go big, and he'll go high pitched and squealy, and I love doing that. But something I noticed about Julio in particular was that he's sort of an evolution of a lot of the characters that I had been playing. He starts off as like super broody and everything. And I've played a lot of those broody, maybe slightly more monotone-ish characters. But Julio, he starts off as that, and then he becomes a lot more nuanced and fleshed out as the story progresses, which is not something I often get the chance with a lot of the more sort of side character-y castings that I've gotten for those more monotone characters. They just don't really get fleshed out, or maybe the show just doesn't get a season 2 that allows for them to get fleshed out and tell their story. And so getting to have a character's entire story told in the span of one project is something that I've never really gotten to do before, which is a really, really cool.
So you finally got a start to finish one then.
Yes, exactly. Like I've never even done an anime or show that has just like, season 1 to the episode 12, like it's over. Like there's nothing else. They don't want a season 2. It's perfect the way it is. That's such a rare thing these days. I can't remember the last one that happened that was like that, except for Buchigiri. I think Buchigiri, which was a recent release, which was a remake of an old anime that got swanky new animation. It looked cool. Doing wall for that was crazy because I got to scream a ton. But because it's all punch fighting, Yeah. But that was, I think, one of the only shows I've seen in recent memory that has an episode 1, episode 12. It's over. They're not going to continue it. No season 2. It's done.
Yeah.
So
they don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah, they don't. And
sometimes it works, and sometimes you're like, give me more. But other shows, you're like, nope, we're putting a bow on that. It's good as is.
Yeah,
leave it.
It's a big thing to, I guess, respect and know your own product to know when it's time to call it. You know?
Mhm.
That's a lot of things that you see. Yeah, you got to see in like old animation here in the West, like with Gravity Falls and
Oh,
what's another
well,
show that
Rab Rattler suggested Kaiju #8. I'm like, yeah, that one was a shorter season, but there's going to be more. They're not done.
Yeah.
Oh, there's already a season 2 on the way.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
thinking
so
more in terms of
don't you
like,
worry about that.
yeah, because like
Um,
Arjuna was one and done, and
Oh, yeah, that was
we
one
grew
and
up with a
done.
lot of short one and done anime.
Another was one and done.
Yeah.
Another was a good show.
Scrap Princess told the full story in 26, I believe it was, not 12, but yeah.
But they don't even make them like that. They don't make like your classic 24, 26 episodes like Cowboy Bebop.
Midori no Hibi. That was
Yeah.
also.
Yeah, they just don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah.
And so
Back to My Hero, though.
Yeah.
Hollywood sequelitis, right?
I feel we could continue
we
on.
could.
Well, what is it like then for you coming into this? Speaking of shows that don't get to continue on, such a big franchise. They're on to season 7. There's multiple films. It's not just some little show. It's a very well-known and huge franchise.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of weight that comes with a role like that. You know, you can't just like walk into the studio and be like, okay, this is gonna be my walla bit for the day. I'm gonna get to play a civilian 1C, and he's gonna say 2 things, and then I'm gonna walk out the booth and I'm gonna be done. You know, this is in a show that's like super seasonal, right? This is a show that's been going on for a decade, and the manga was like top 5 in Shonen Jump like every year. Sometimes top 2, sometimes top 3. I don't think it ever beat One Piece, but I mean, it's hard to beat One Piece unless you're Demon Slayer, which blew up in like 1 year. But I mean, My Hero Academia has always been like one of the most popular Shonen Jump properties out there. And so as someone who followed both the manga and the anime in both sub and dub, I mean, it was just absolutely nuts getting the casting email at all. And the weight that comes with it is that for me, I have to take the role very seriously. And it helps that the character is very serious. So, I mean, it just kind of lends it into itself. But it's a role that I don't think I've ever like gone into a booth with like that much, like, I guess I sort of nerves in that first session because I was working with a director I'd never worked with before, who was fantastic. Mike McFarland is fantastic, but I never worked with him before. And I'd only ever heard that he was like one of the top dogs. And so I was like, oh boy. And so getting to work with him on a IP that I love for the very first time as a lead role was a little bit nerve-wracking. But the second you hop in there, I mean, he like exposited the whole film's premise to me, what my character was doing, his whole story arc, and he made the process just so much easier. And I'm very grateful to have had him as my director for the movie.
Well, good. That is excellent to hear. I'm curious because My Hero Academia movies, when they bring in movie original characters, they're often either absolutely buck wild movie villains, or the movie original characters are the emotional core of the story that's being told.
Yeah.
Knowing that about Julio, did that change how you approach the character?
Oh, it definitely did, because I guess knowing how his story would end up from the very beginning, and not having to go and research that myself as I would normally do for an anime or manga that's still ongoing, being told like his story from start to finish, I would know like, okay, so in the beginning I have to perform like this. I have to get in this headspace of I am him in this situation, and how he would react to interacting with Deku and Dark Might, and how he would react if he saw the other anime original character that's in the movie. And you just have to approach every situation as if you were in his shoes. And because if you don't do that, then I guess you risk losing the characterization that you've built up for him in your head. And so a lot of times when I go in to record for a character, I like to say that I am this character, as opposed to say like, oh, what would Julio think? You know, like what would I think, because I am Julio, you know? And that's another aspect of how I approach acting that allows me to, I guess, perform maybe a bit more grounded, even though there, of course, there will be those anime isms, you know, the efforts and everything. And,
no,
but that's
makes
the beauty of
sense.
anime, right?
Yeah.
And I do feel we can continue talking with you forever, but getting towards the end of having you here, what are some things you're currently working on or want to let people know about, and anything else you'd like to add about the My Hero Academia experience?
Absolutely. I mean, the My Hero Academia experience has been one of the best experiences that I've gotten to do in my whole life. I mean, from casting to recording to everything that happened afterward with the red carpet and meeting my fellow actors that only live in Los Angeles. I have nothing but Crunchyroll and Mike McFarlane and Troy and Zach Bolton and the Toho for flying me out there. And it's truly an experience I'll never, ever forget. And so I'm very, very grateful for it. But if you're interested in catching me in something that I'm still doing right now, True Beauty is out on Crunchyroll. It is a anime adaptation of a very popular webtoon called True Beauty. It originally had a K-drama, live action K-drama, but eventually they turned it into an anime. And so we get to dub the anime. And I play Sojun Han. And a lot of people say that he is the best boy, as opposed to the other guy who's Suho, played by Eduardo Villasol. He's fantastic. And Chu Young-im is played by Rebecca Dene. So definitely check that out on Crunchyroll. If you haven't, we have dubbed up to episode 9 coming this Wednesday. Episode 9 is going to come out this Wednesday in the dub. And so we've got 4 more episodes. We're going to go to episode 13. And so,
all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for us to wrap on that because I've been having a lot of fun playing Sojun. So if anyone is interested in hearing, I guess, more of my performances, go check out True Beauty on Crunchyroll.
And they can go follow you where?
They can go follow me on Twitter at Mau Ortiz-Segura on Twitter. On Instagram, I'm at Mau Ortiz-Segura. That's pretty much the 2 socials that I'm most active on. So if you want to keep track of anything that I'm doing, anything wacky that I might post, some dumb meme I might share, feel free to follow me. I guess on TikTok as well. I guess I'm on TikTok now.
All right.
My official user. I gotta go look at my username.
Girl, what is the username?
Sharing all of the Julio fan vids that are coming down the line, I'm sure.
Yes. Oh, I saw one of the ones you reposted. That was so funny. He's a man. That one. I'm gonna need a man. Something the Rihanna song.
Yeah, that one. I love it when I comment and they're like, "Oh my god, hello," and I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?"
With like the 3 question marks. Hello.
Yes, exactly. But I guess on TikTok you can find me same as Instagram at mau.ortiz-segura.
All right. Yay. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Mauricio, and it was so good talking with you here as well.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, have a great night. Enjoy your Lord of the Rings viewing, however you go about it.
Thank you. I'll try not to marathon it, as you say.
Do whichever works best for you.
Okay.
And that's it. Everybody go check out down below. There is a link for the My Hero Academia red carpet, which we also talked with Mauricio at that red carpet. So that interview's there, as well as other cast members. And we'll make sure to link you, Mauricio, so you can see it too.
Of course. Awesome.
Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks, you too. And
he's great.
There we go. Yay!
He's great.
That was wonderful. It's always great to see new characters. I know. I'm like,
I could have talked to him for an hour.
It's been a long time.
It's like, hang on, can we talk about just like the plot of the movie for the next 20 minutes? Can we just? Yeah, we made a spoilers banner and everything, but maybe later.
Time. But yes, thank you again to Mauricio for joining us. It was really great to talk further because on red carpets you only get so much time.
Yeah.
So it's nice to. Okay, let's chat a lot more and in depth. So yay!
And also on red carpets, you often have not seen the film or
That
whatever
too.
the carpet is
Yes.
for yet. So your questions
Yes.
can only be so targeted.
Yeah. Another one we didn't put up at the beginning, but reminder, you can follow us over on Twitter, NTATNB. We have different kind of links we post there or visuals, depending on different topics we're talking about, or product reviews, stuff sent. So check that out. And now we're going to get into our news segment of things we're excited about and announcements and such. Then we'll be talking free run as well as other recommendations. So stick around for all of that.
Yes.
So
I believe you are starting us off with a spooky season appropriate announcement.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Ablaze is announcing the print and digital release of a horror manga, and it's called Happy Land, and it is coming out on November 26th. And is set at an extreme amusement park where nothing is as it seems and depicts the horror that lies in store for an unsuspecting family that visits the park. I was like,
That's like, awesome. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah. So this one is by Shingo Hoda, and it's 180 pages, and the retail is $12.99. Excellent price there.
Yeah.
And you can get a physical copy or digital one, again, starting on November 26th. And we'll post a picture for that one over on our Twitter as we linked before there. And yay for continuing spooky season.
We say it's dropping a bit after spooky season, but it is coming around just in time for most of your late winter gift giving holidays. So if you've got someone who likes to keep spooky season all year round, maybe that. Maybe that. All right. Speaking of things that are upcoming during spooky season, but in this case, much more immediate, New York Comic Con is just around the corner. And by just around the corner, I mean in like 3 days. It starts on the 17th. So if you are going to New York Comic Con, Toei is going to have quite the presence there. It's bringing fan celebrations of Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Digimon to New York Comic Con. There will be the Toei Animation and Dimmak pop-up shop, which will have One Piece merchandise with a number of New York Comic Con exclusive releases. They will also have the Mugiwara, there we go, store pop-up shop, a recreation of the famed retail concept and world's largest official One Piece store. So they're going to have a little Mugiwara there at New York Comic Con. Attendees are also invited to visit the Toei Animation booth and both pop-up shops daily throughout New York Comic Con through regular show hours. So that's the show floor. They've also got a number of panels for you with the Dragon Ball Daima special panel, day 1, October 17th, 12:45 on the Empire stage. So it's the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball. So Toei will be talking about, share the details of the creation behind the new world of Dragon Ball Daima. If you are more of a Digimon person, the Digimon Adventure panel is also day 1, 3:30 p.m. in room 409. And for the One Piece fans in the audience, we know there are many of you. You are legion and you are wonderful human beings. You guys are so much fun. On day 2, Friday, October 18th, 12:45 p.m. on the Empire stage, that is when they will have the One Piece panel. They'll be welcoming producer Ryuta Koike, series director Satoshi Ito, and creative director Masayaki Takagi, the team behind One Piece. So they'll be talking all things One Piece. Woo. So if you are going to New York Comic Con, put those panels on your schedule. Check out the Toei Animation booth, as well as both of those pop-up shops on the con floor, and just have a good time, you guys.
Yes. And Fanversation, not us, but another member of our team will be at New York Comic Con. So be sure to follow Fanversation on Instagram, as there might be the cool stuff check out in the stories. Also, since you're here on Fanversation's YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe and get that notification bell so that you're up to date when things come out. Yes. And continuing things we're excited about. I'm like, oh wait, we have we have convention banner. Let's have that as we talk about convention. All right. Speaking of exciting events and coming up in November, which we're almost there. Huh.
What
Wild.
year is it, man?
I know. You blink and it's gone. Dragon Ball is coming back to the Macy's Day Parade. Woo woo!
Yes.
With Goku taking flight again in the iconic Saiyan form at the 98th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So this is Toei Animation celebrating the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball, which we mentioned for New York Comic Con. And so it's a new shape, which is cool. You know, it's a new float.
Yeah, it's a new balloon.
Thank you. There we go. Yeah, so Earth's mightiest warrior from the global hit anime franchise, Dragon Ball, will fly his iconic Saiyan form at the 98th parade. I like this. In a new pose, sporting jet black hair and his signature orange martial art uniform, Goku will debut as a brand new featured character balloon on November 28th. Thanksgiving is later this year, y'all. So
it is.
It's later than usual. In the iconic holiday tradition. And yep, that's super exciting. Oh, here we go. This is kind of cool. Measuring a stunning 70.5 feet long. I'm reading into my monitor. That's why I'm leaning. 30 feet wide and 41.5 feet tall. It'll be easy to spy in the parade. I'm like, yeah, I like it. That's
pretty
exciting.
big.
Yeah, and that's always fun to see that, and a great way to bring anime to your general public as well. So, yay!
And it sounds like we got classic Goku this time around, which is fun. I like that.
I like it. I'm excited to see it. It's just, I think that's a fun parade. Also, I'd say stay after because it's always fun to watch. I think it's a Westminster Dog Show or something like that. That's my holiday tradition. And their announcers, this is not anime related, but real quick, their announcers are generally so dry. I love it. Like the sarcasm and how they do it is so entertaining.
Yes.
But
I mean, there's a reason that Best in Show as a mockumentary exists.
Yeah. So yes, be on the lookout for Goku at the Macy's Day Parade. We're excited to see that. And yay for anime in the general public. And it's such a big event.
And while we are on the subject of Dragon Ball, a quick reminder that Dragon Ball Daima has started streaming, premiered this past weekend, and is on Crunchyroll. So if you're interested in watching it, Crunchyroll's got you covered. Speaking of other things that are streaming on Crunchyroll and for which Crunchyroll will have you covered, we have a major One Piece update provided by Toei Animation detailing the series hiatus and special content. So, words, here we go. Oda is taking One Piece is taking a short break. It started yesterday, so Sunday, October 13th, following the release of episode 1122. Fans can look forward to watching new episodes of the Egghead arc when One Piece returns in April 2025 in a new time slot that will be revealed at Jump Festa 2025, which takes place on Sunday, December 22nd, 2024. So One Piece is on hiatus. It's coming back in April. And when specifically it will be airing, we will find that out on December 22nd of this year. So I am all for this. I am all for people taking a break, taking vacation, doing what they need to do. There wasn't an official reason in this press release as to why the break is being taken, but I am all for animators getting some breathing room.
Yeah. Like, get a break, recharge, come back better than ever, because we don't want our creative people to get deflated of energy. So
yes, I'd rather have a hiatus. I'd rather have it take another year to get to a new season. I would rather the animation industry be able to take its time and animators be able to do things like sleep and eat meals and go home. Like, so I, for one, am here for this.
Yeah.
Continuing on, in anticipation of this new planned production pause and in place of new Egghead arc episodes during the hiatus, Toei Animation has produced new weekly One Piece content for fans to enjoy during the series' current regular broadcast schedule.
All right.
So it's not a cold turkey hiatus. You're still getting stuff. What you will be getting is on Sunday, October 22nd at 9:30 a.m. JST, you will get One Piece Fan Letter, a 20th anniversary episode commemorating One Piece. 30-minute ensemble drama depicts the reunion of the Straw Hat characters from the perspective of non-pirate characters. So that's fun.
That's interesting.
And then One Piece Log Fishman Island Saga starts on Sunday, October 22nd with episode 1. New episodes released weekly, same day and time, with the final episode airing on March 30th. One Piece Log Fishman Island Saga is a special re-edited version of the original Fishman Island arc from One Piece. So it is an abridged 21-episode story arc with all scenes reshot plus new animation sequences, including new opening and ending themes. So keep an eye out for that. We have, if it's been a hot minute since you've watched that arc, maybe come back, watch the slightly condensed version. Like, yeah. Or if you're someone who, in your One Piece watch, skipped that arc for whatever reason, now you have a chance to watch a slightly abridged, slightly cut down, all the big plot points are still there, but maybe slightly more easily consumable version of the arc. And then you can just hop right back into regular episodes when they begin again in, I believe it was April?
April, you said.
When they begin again in April. So, yeah, the new episodes are on hiatus until April. We're still getting episodes. We're getting a special. We're getting all sorts of fun stuff. So, again, keep an eye out for all of that. For all you One Piece fans, that's the news.
All right. And besides, there's so much content to tide you over.
There's so much content to tide you over.
And you can check out older shows, such as Free Rent.
Yes.
Recheck out things you haven't had a chance to watch, because hashtag first world problems of too much content, not enough time. But we're happy to revisit shows. We are now talking episodes, so it was through 10, so 11, 12, 13. Or something.
Yes.
I'm like, this is the next 3? Yes. I'm like, yes. I just watched the next 3. Yeah, 11, 12, 13.
Right? Just fully, what year is it? Yes.
Yes, that's what I have. 11, 12, 13. Woohoo. So we are talking about Freeman, only those episodes, so no spoilers. If you've watched Pat's stat, you can laugh at our predictions. This chunk is that wave of, I think, where there's a lot happening, and it's definitely world building, but it was a very cozy episodes. This was cottagecore episodes, literally, in more ways than one, or at least a big part of it. But I thought that was really kind of great to get some other characters. We get our monk, which was really interesting, and then we answered our other question of another elf.
I liked it. Croft the monk. And in the subtitles, it was Kraft. So I'm like, Croft the mac and cheese. Monk and cheese.
I like it. Yeah, Croft.
Americanisms.
No, it's similar spelling. It's same like the way we were saying.
Same
Stark.
spelling.
Stark sounds more like a little bit of an SH in there, but it's Stark, but it's like Stark. That made sense of their traveling. I think they were, at first I thought, they're prepared to go in the cold. Those nice townspeople were like, why don't you stay? They made them like new winter kind of gear. I thought, sure. No, that's like an effing blizzard of, they are not ready.
No one's heads are covered. No one's hands are covered. No. I'm from Colorado. And I'm looking at this going, friends. Friends, no. No. People ask me why I don't drive home for winter holidays. And I'm like, through the Rockies in December? Are you kidding?
No, thank you.
So, no. Watching this go was just like, thank God they found the cabin. Throughout all of this, through these 3 episodes, this through line of Fern just fully distrusting people and continually calling the men that she runs across perverts. Like, girl, like I was chatting with my roommate about it, and I'm like, please lighten up. And she's like, she was raised in isolation by a priest.
Who's also a pervert, though. We learned that he's like, corrupt priest is the joke they use. Yes.
Yeah. Drinking is his vice.
Do we see him being?
No,
we didn't see him being super lecherous or anything. Like, I mean, he's interested in women, but we didn't necessarily see him be like,
no, we don't get that from him. No.
So it's not like she's been around. And I didn't think Stark stuff was that bad at all, because it was never anything like inappropriate in Fern's presence, like him talking about the clouds. that's by himself. Let him do his thing by himself.
Yeah.
And I bet if she announced it herself, he would have not been like, check out the boobs. Like, he wouldn't have done that to her. Also, he's 18. He literally just turned 18. Like,
yeah.
It's a teenager.
I mean, so is she.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're raised
Isolated.
alone with a by
Yes.
a religious person, like
Yes.
sometimes that can be like, okay, yeah, I get it. But also like her whole, I don't know what to get him for his birthday, and the whose fault is that? She goes, well, it's yours. I'm like, no, sweetie, it's yours.
You didn't
If
ask
you've been
either.
traveling with him this long and you're not having a conversation with him, the fact that he's still Mr. Stark when everyone else is first name basis, like, well, you just still call her Mistress Freeman, so that's fair.
Yeah.
But like, he's kind of your equal in terms of rank and age and everything, and you're still. Yeah, I'm watching the dub, so I think there's some loss to that. But like some, you translate and localize as well as you can.
Yeah.
But just
she's still pretty formal with him and not casual. But then I was all, and then the other end of things, we get Freeman being super casual. Like, I liked her gift idea. I thought that was so silly. And she's like, yeah, of course guys would want this.
And like, she doesn't know. I don't know if she doesn't know why, if that never really clicked for her, but it was, oh, my master said that guys like this. I don't know if Freeman has that kind of experience with men.
Well, Freeman did already talk about how elves just aren't very sexual creatures. So she might, like, it's an abstract concept. Like, I don't know if you necessarily say she's ace-coded, but it's, she understands it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, she does. Doesn't. But that laying on the bed shot was very sexy. That I'm like, what is this shot?
Like okay, can we move the camera, please? Like, why are we? Okay, cool, great, awesome.
It was such an interesting fan servicey thing. Which again, no problem with fan service. It just kind of was out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, who are we making this for? Of like, okay.
But it was, I did appreciate that it wasn't like, oh yeah, this is what he's into, so much as it was, he is a boy, he is a man, and this is what my master said that men like, so I got this on lock. I am following what I was told. It's great information. I know exactly what I'm doing. And it's like, no.
I like Fern shutting that down so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also the getting his backstory.
Yes, I was just gonna thank you for doing that. Yeah, getting the Stark backstory.
Oh my god. The whole they valued warriors and I was weak. I'm like, you were 8? Maybe? You were a child? They should have been like, oh, no matter how much he trains, he's too weak to face a monster. He's 8. He is a child. Why is his older brother the only one who gets this?
Yeah.
Just man alive.
Yeah.
And that little bitty scene of praising, not only did he do such a great job, but look, his white cloak is still pristine. That's a matter of honor. That's this and that and the other. Stark accidentally getting it dirty. And then him not caring and kneeling in the mud to help his little brother. Like, obviously some people are putting more importance on that cloak than others. Some people have their priorities straight. Boy, I hope he's still alive.
True. No body, no proof, could still be. And
Stark left. He didn't go back. And he's our only point of view character.
Yeah.
So we have no idea if any members of his family are still alive, if the village is still there. No clue.
Yeah. And the other thing, what was it? Oh, I like the very real aspect of how something later in life, seeing it from a different perspective, can cause you to look back on a memory differently of, oh, the hamburger steak. And Freeman's like, well, Himmel did this for me. And then I understand, like, that's what you do. And that's like an honor. And it's a way to celebrate you. And Stark remembering his brother. I was like,
Just it's for warriors who work hard. And the fact that
Yeah.
he sees himself as a coward and to an extent a
Yeah.
failure, and yet every year for his birthday,
Yep.
like Eisen would make him a steak. Like, oh no, it's for warriors that work hard. And he considered you to be that from the get-go. Just like,
Yeah.
oh babies. Oh.
He doesn't know. Oh, excuse me. Yes. Stein.
Context is important.
Stein, not Himmel. So
Yeah.
sorry, wrong name there. Yes, the hamburger steak. Did love that though. Made me very hungry. I'm like, can I make that, please?
Oh yeah. Hamburg steak is real good.
And then this big though, too.
Just big, comically large.
This big. I'm like this big.
Like
That's
no
fine.
normal portions, and Eisen's like,
Yes.
nah,
Yeah.
this big. This is how we do.
Yeah. Loved all that. Our gentleman who was wrong. Not yet. There we go. All the names. Y'all know who we're talking about.
I am getting better at names.
Yay! Who was the dude that we help in the mud?
Zine.
Zine, yeah, like pull out of the quicksand mud. I do like the
just everything being very German inspired, Germanic, the names, the place names, everything. I love it. I truly do.
Yeah.
Just this particular flavor of fantasy. And we got the answer of, so why do you have a priest in the party? What does the priest provide? White mage services. Yes.
I did like our village with the child leader, and you were supposed to come later. I would have been a grown up by then, and I thought that was adorable. I love that kid. Thought that was super cute. And I mean, it makes sense. Again, if you get someone, and there's a good example where they do have the knowledge that who this person is, they are going to come back, and the village keeps a tradition. Because so far we've had other ones be like, oh, wait, you look familiar, or they have absolutely no idea. So it was nice to see one that goes, oh, no, we know exactly who you are.
We're keeping the clock, and they're like, you're 30 years late. Yeah. Like you were supposed to come back 50 years after, and you didn't.
So I thought that was funny.
Well, and the sword and the stone tradition that they have.
I was like,
this is the hero's sword. I'm like, what hero is this? This was someone's sword. Whose was it? Because we've only ever heard Himmel, the hero.
Yes.
Who was the previous hero? What is the deal here? And just if there even was a previous hero, or if it's just like,
true.
Holy weapon, let's go.
Well, because also Himmel actually didn't use the sword.
Yeah, couldn't get it out of the rock. I'm kind of wondering if literally anyone can get it out of the rock, or if it is like part of the rock.
Yep. I kind of feel that might be something with Stark later, but I kind of like his axe. So I'm like, oh no, is he going to change up his style? Which is totally cool though, but I'm like, maybe.
What I'm wondering for Stark is the next episode, during that whole my family valued warriors, I was always weak, like getting down on himself, and we have that flash to the sword, and it was just that really quick enough to be like, if you aren't looking at it, you'll miss it, but long enough to make a point to the audience.
Yep.
And so what I'm wondering is, did he go into the cave and take a crack at it? Did he try? And it really could go either way. I have no idea, but I'm very, very curious as to whether he did.
Right. Same. Yeah. And how quickly will they answer that for us? Because it did seem like we're going to know soon, or they'll either say it, or he'll have the sword, or they'll talk about it. Because it does feel like they don't really drag us on too long. It's hey, this happens.
I would say if we find out at all, because I also have no idea. Fun. Because part of the sword and the stone idea was like, Himmel was not the chosen hero, but he got the job done anyway. And the story changed to fit that reality and that narrative.
Okay, I like this theory. Rab says, the thing that occurred to me is if we don't have a threat yet that needs that sword, there's a greater threat coming.
I mean, I had kind of thought that the Demon King was a more recent thing, but then with how long ago Freeren's backstory happened.
There we go.
How long she'd been.
It was a while ago. Yeah.
It's been
It's almost 30 years. Yeah, we're up to 29. We're up to 29 years.
Oh, I'm talking like her village burning down because of a demon general.
Oh, yeah, yeah, which was long time ago because we
demons
learned
as a whole and the Demon King have been around for a hot minute.
And Croft's calling her young. So.
So that's, again, putting that timeline into perspective. And, the king could only spare 10 copper coins. Yeah, well, how many heroes have gone out and tried to beat the Demon King and failed for one reason or another? Like, this party is not new to this. This party is not special as far as everyone else sees. The specialness comes from the fact that they succeeded where I would assume hundreds or thousands of other people failed if the Demon King has been around for that long.
Yes, exactly. Giga Derek says a lot of time has passed between the village burning, Freeren's village, and the Demon King dying. Yes.
I mean, her master was like, what, 1,000 years ago or some noise? A long time.
Yeah. Well, could there be another Demon King, any relation to the previous one, or a new one claiming it? So...
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there was a power vacuum. We still haven't seen our little slasher smile person from the opening. It wasn't Aura.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yep.
Who knows?
I think that's most of the chunk of it.
And
on that note.
That's we talked a lot about Stark. We didn't really talk about we got a lot of the religion of the world.
Yes. Oh, yes, of course. We didn't get into that enough. Yeah.
We haven't talked about Croft and we haven't talked about Zine. Like, we talked about the middle chunk because for me, that's the episode where I was like, yes, this. For some reason, Stark is just like, oh, the little guy with all the trauma. He's mine now. I love him. So anytime we get more with him, my brain just goes, oh. But yeah, that's a
Fern and Croft and Freeren talking about the goddess. Excellent discussion on religion of like, okay, well, why do you believe she's there? And especially for an elf that lives so long, I feel this is also in other stories where the new Interview with the Vampire show also has that of these characters that live so long and have seen so much, they're less believer kind of a person. So,
and then Croft approaching it from the idea of legacy. Essentially, it's, you were all right. You defeated the Demon King. What about your life before that? You've been around for a hot minute. Who are you? What have you done? Will anyone remember?
Yeah.
And so, and we had this conversation episodes ago with will they remember in 100 years? Yes. Will humanity remember in 1,000 years? Who's to say? So,
and why does that matter? You know? Especially for these creatures who live so long, like human beings, some of the ideas when they have offspring, it's like that is a continuation of them and it's a way of immortality. So with elves to live so long, also doesn't feel like Freeren cares the same way to leave a mark on the world. And then how she was trained, it was, it was less about being famous and recognized the same way. She's just she has her hobby of collecting her grimoires and finding spells. She seems to be happy with that.
Yeah, like Flamma was a genius. Flamma, like the way that everyone talks about her, like she was like the inception of humanity's magic, or like she was a magical genius. But she very much taught Freeren to survive, and that is a very, very specific mindset, especially getting that right after a trauma where your entire village was McMurdered by one guy that you barely beat. So I can definitely see that shaping Freeren's mindset. And like, of course, she's not looking to do great things. She's not looking to do other stuff. Like, she's keeping her head down and she's surviving. She had to be convinced to go to the heroes party. And the whole, I had my chance to go after him a while ago. I'm like, who's him? Who's him? Who's him? Who is him? Who knows? We'll find out. The series likes playing the long game.
Yes.
So far.
Yes.
That we have a conversation in episode like 3, and I'm sitting here referencing it 10 episodes later, like, it's this thing. So I'm sure that there will be, again, this is a show all about the long game.
What was he? Did we get the 2? I was like, or was there another
We got
one?
Kraft.
Okay.
We got I find it very interesting that his whole motivation and belief is like someone longer lived than me.
And it's like,
will
I
be
need
able to look at the
validation.
span of
Yeah.
my it's a religion based on head pats, I guess.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
or
that's a
that's
good way to
just
put it, 'cause
how
I was like,
he
okay.
sees it.
Ah, yes. Thank you for no spoilers, and I like this. There are answers eventually.
Let's
Thank you.
go.
Exactly. That's how we like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But it is. But I guess it's also it was interesting on the discussion of religion having these 2 very long-lived creatures talk about it, and then we also have Fern, who's raised by a religious human being, and just how they approach it. Because we hadn't really had any deity information prior to this, so it's interesting. Okay, this world, it's a goddess, and
It seems to be
nobody's
monotheistic.
yeah, and it doesn't seem like there's lots of other ones. Or like it doesn't seem like there's so many different beliefs out there.
Yeah.
So that's a interesting part I like on the world building is okay. So what is that other part of their aspect of their lives? So
Yeah. And we'll maybe I'm sure at some point we'll get more information. I mean, the goal here is literally to make it to heaven and talk with the dead. So
yeah.
like we'll find out, I guess.
I do
don't
like when
expect
she
it to
says where
happen in
she's going. She's like, "Where are you going? We're going to heaven." Okay.
Oh, really? I don't expect it to happen this season. I expect this to be fairly long running if they get the renewals, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll
Yeah.
we'll see on that front. But it was very interesting for the biggest look that we've had into the religion of this world, or at least this continent, this region, to be an elf going, I want someone to be able to look at the sum total of my very long life and say, you did a good job. Because the only people that are going to be longer lived than elves is going to be the gods themselves.
So we'll find out eventually.
Yeah,
I think maybe we'll find out.
Maybe.
No spoilers, anybody.
Maybe.
Yes. All
Yeah,
right.
let's talk about Zion for a hot minute. He's got different issues.
Yes. So
he is the reason that you put a healer in the party, damn it.
like Zion. So how
So
do you spell that? He's like
Sein, I think, but again, everything's Germanic, so it's Zine.
right.
Or less Germanic, more like German.
Yes.
They mean different things. What are words? Oh boy.
Ah, yes.
Happy
this
Monday.
is our dude in the mud.
Yep, this is our dude in the mud.
Yeah. He's an interesting one as well. I like how good he is in casual. He's like, oh yeah, you're fixed.
Yeah. Again, this very high ranked healer going, sorry, your brain's gonna leak out your nose and you're gonna die. And his genius younger brother rolling in and going, you're good. We got you. Consider my debt paid.
Avoid the thing. And what did they do? They got the thing. Yep. Stark touches the thing. And I know we didn't really want to go to it, but we kind of have to because petting. Pet owner of the anime. Good boy.
Yeah. And just trying to convince him to do stuff. Of course, once again, Fern is just immediately and poor Stark, well, at least you're in it with me. Like, understanding that, yeah, this is just kind of the group we're in. Like,
it's an interesting group dynamic.
But after these 3 episodes, again, I would love for Fern to calm down a little bit.
Yes, she does have a standoffishness that is a bit like, okay, I get it, but like, breathe and relax.
An unwillingness to step back from the judgments that she has already made. And again, she's also young. This is also a thing that this is a thing that human beings in general do. Let's be real. I'm not going to be like, that's a teenager thing to do. No, this is an extremely human quality and something that you need to be aware of and consciously take steps to work on in order to overcome it. Like, this is a lifelong process. I would love to see her start on that path because we can see that, like, Stark really does get the butt end of it a lot.
Yeah, and some of it, I'm like, okay, I get it. And other times I'm like, girl, calm down. Like,
him asking what the potion does when it was just described as a rare and powerful potion. Like, of course he's interested. And then her judging him for that. Like, no, he doesn't know. He has no context.
To carry Frieren, I understand his gesture could be something, but literally, if he had his arms out this way to hold someone,
yeah,
it wasn't that weird.
That is what we call a princess carry.
Yeah, so it's like, Fern, we get it. And also but it could be too that Fern's been with Frieren for so long and just those two, maybe, that, you know, she's not, it's still getting used to other people, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Giving her a benefit of the doubt. But I agree. I would like her to be like, okay, calm down. It's a little,
but that was also after, you know, spending an entire 6-month winter with Kraft was there as well, but also with Stark. So it's just kind of like, I get it. I understand. It's a character trait. Like,
Radler says, Fern has spent her whole life completing a series of tasks. Things like Stark is currently a distraction to being a good student and a caretaker to her teacher.
Yeah.
Fair.
I think, she just
Fern is the I'm going to be by the books student. And Stark's a bit more like, I'm going to wing it. No problem.
Stark is doing his best at dealing with a lot of his own internal stuff.
And he's doing great. He is doing an excellent job. But different, it's you know what it is? It's that group project, and you just have to learn to work with that person who sees the project differently than you.
Yeah.
And she just hasn't given in enough to, all right, you got to work with your classmates. So
yeah, she does the judgment and then builds on that judgment instead of reevaluating it. And again, she's young, and this is a thing that you as a person have to become aware of and accept that it's something that needs to be worked on in order to work on it. Yeah, luck and anxiety.
Yeah,
and like he's good.
Yeah,
Stark is actually very good at what he does.
Yeah, and he's a good person. Like, we're so far seeing that he's not someone we shouldn't trust. So
yeah. Again, back to the birthday episode, for one, reiterating, like, you've known him for how long and you don't have an inkling of what he might enjoy? Like, girl, get him a dessert. He keeps talking about the very special,
and
like,
food.
find him a fruit-based dessert. He would probably enjoy that.
He'll be like, great, thank you.
How hard is this? So, like, yeah, the fact that she is not trying to get to know him or is not bothering to see anything that maybe disagrees with the judgment she's already made of his character. And then also her just doing the walk through the town looking for him, and just the montage of, oh, he helped me like this. Oh, he did this for me. It was impressive. Oh, he helped us out. And her going, damn, like, yeah, can that maybe counterbalance some things a little?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's my take on things. That's, you know. But
I like our continued our new member in the party.
Zine.
They are essentially recreating the party she had before.
It's a balanced party though.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good balance of everybody. I'm curious to see if we'll get anybody else. This feels like it's probably our group, because that's how many was in a group before.
I'm wondering how permanent Zine is going to be.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering that too. I felt like Fern and Stark are in it for the long run. Zine, it's like he might go halfway there and then be like, oh, because he's looking for his friend.
Yes.
So it might be
he's there until he gets
a sign. Yeah.
Yeah. Or until he just decides this is far enough, or I want to go this way, or like I don't think he has the same bonds with things. He just needed to literally and figuratively be pulled out of the mud.
Yes. There you go. We start with him literally, and that is metaphorically where his life is.
Yeah.
And like, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I liked the pointing out, and again, real life thing of how it's his brother who's the other priest.
His older brother.
Is like, I chose this life. This is what I wanted. You just use me as an excuse. And it's like, yes, any decision is a fine decision if that is your decision. Don't blame it on someone else of, I was doing this for them. And they also never asked you to do it. So it's like,
it's one thing when his older brother was raising him. His older brother was his caretaker and made the decision. And it might have also been possible that that's just what he told. I'm like, I'm getting better at names. And then I forgot his name. That's just what he told our other priest. Like, nah, I mean, this is all my little brother's known. I'd rather stay here. When he also made it clear to Freerun and company, like, I am okay with all of my days being the same. This is fine for me, but it's killing him.
Yeah. Also, Zine, I like this of back to our mud metaphor. He's also a stick in the mud.
Hey.
But yeah, I thought that was an interesting like dynamic to show to be addressed in the show, and it was a good example of character. And nice they got called out on it, because that's the other thing. You could have just let that slide and it moves on, but that was the push. You gotta go. But
and also feeling like you've missed your opportunity and going, there are other. You missed an opportunity. There are always others. And that's a life lesson that doesn't have an expiration date. That's a life lesson that just keeps on going. Oh, I missed my opportunity. You missed one opportunity for one thing. There are always others. You may have to go hunt them down, but there are always others.
Yes.
And also, it helps to have a genius healer with you.
That does help. Oh,
like a lot. Like a healer at all. But the dude who just rolled up and went, the brain melting poison is gone. You're welcome. Like,
yeah. Because Freerun and Fern can do a little bit, but not that, the skills he has. So it's like, yes, we need this in the group. Yeah.
Yeah, and for your old school Final Fantasy, your red mage versus your white mage. Your red mage set shit on fire, and your white mage makes sure the party doesn't die.
Both very important to have. Yeah.
But very, very different skill sets.
If there are other moments that stood out to you, leave comments down below. I think with that, now we've hit all the spots we were trying to hit.
Yes.
It is that thing that sometimes when you're trying to remember, you're like, oh, yes, that other very important.
Oh, wait, we had a whole episode about this guy.
Yes, that guy.
And his bad habits.
Yes. All right. So now... hopefully not a bad habit. We'll tell you things you should check out. No, I don't know if that transition did quite work.
No, but that's okay.
That's okay.
It's Monday. We're doing our best.
Yes. So this is time we'll tell you about anything we're reading, watching, games, whatever we're checking out that we think you should check out. Real quick though, on like Gigadargos, did we talk about the aftermath of the fight? Like,
oh, the aftermath of Aura. The beginning of the first episode.
I mean, that was nice of I did like the callback to, they had the necklace, they mentioned the family crest, and we had that, and so it was nice to like essentially honor and like a final way to say goodbye to these people that probably were like missing. So,
and honestly, that headless suit of armor was probably his son.
Yep, that's what. When we saw the necklace, I thought that was it. So, thank you, good call out.
And the montage and the you need a first-class mage to take you through, and the whole bit about the paperwork changes so often. It's just not
that was
worth
funny.
It.
Yeah, I like.
It's like as an antique.
Like, I'm so old. Yes.
I mean, another one of those. You live for how long? It's like, this government's been around for 50 years. See, no time at all.
She's like,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. If you had to recertify every time the certification process changed.
Yes. Then
yes. That's fair. That's fair.
I was just looking up the things. How to say it? Oh, Argento. Okay, they wrote it as one thing. Rob Adler suggests Argentosoma.
Argentosoma?
Online, it writes it as 2 words. Argentosoma. Give it a watch. All right. Thank you for your suggestion. I'm not familiar with that title. So also, let us know other things you think we should check out. So the book I'm starting is She is a Haunting is what it's called. Ooh. And is so far so good. I've just kind of got into it, but I couldn't remember the name last time. She is a haunting. Yeah, she's a haunting by, and I apologize if I say this wrong, Tran, Trang, last name Tran. And it's a horror novel, and it explores identity, belonging, ghosts, family, and culture. But it's a recommendation at the library, so I was like, yes, I will check it out. Give me a book. So far, enjoying it, and so that's a good book of, do you like reading scary books at spooky time? So I was like, yes, give me that. Still watching Dan to Dan. Still awesome, still very fun and exciting and bonkers.
I have not caught this week's episode yet. It was
right.
This week has been a lot. It's been very busy. Yeah.
And I haven't watched a whole lot of new stuff. I had family in town, so it's mainly Dan to Dan and Agatha all along on Before People Came in Town. Still liking that one. That's also really fun. That's kind of it for me for now. What about you, Katie?
I mean, the usual YouTube stuff, because sometimes that's all I can put in the brain.
Yeah.
Watching the Game Grumps continue to play Danganronpa 3 continues to just be an absolute joy. Very, very good time. Most of my stuff this time around was live stuff. We went to a whiskey tasting, which was very fun. If you are in Los Angeles, there is a ticket service called Do LA, where for $8 a month, essentially, they send you emails saying, here's a list of tickets. Do any of them interest you? And you can pick a set of tickets, or you can go, not right now, email me next week. And they also have an option where once a week you can hop in and go, hey, what do the weekly tickets look like? Is there anything good? And then you can see if there's stuff available. There's tastings, there's shows, there's a lot of it is not like 90% by volume is either a continual every week showcase of like indie artists or just indie artists you've never heard of. So if you have the spoons to go out, go across town, go wherever for a completely new experience, like it's good for that. I don't always.
Sorry, is the service pay for access to the events, or you pay ticket price on top of?
No, free tickets.
Okay, so this is more like this service gives you access to free things.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's worth some of the events we've been to, the ticket prices have been like $40 to $100.
Do you think we went to like the seat filler kind of a thing of like they have leftover tickets and
that would be my guess, especially for some of these venues. Like there was
That's
one.
Cool.
Yeah. Like I chose the whiskey tasting, but one of the things that was also available in that set that I forewent because I chose the whiskey tasting was George Lopez live at a very large theater. So sometimes it's like, all right, it's just a bunch of indie artists, whatever, pass. And sometimes it's a pub crawl. It's, whatever theatrical production. It's comedians. It's all sorts of stuff. I think the larger company is either called Do Stuff or Do Stuff More. The local one for me is Do LA, but I know they're in a whole bunch of other cities. So that is really, I know I always say like do live theater, do live shows, live stuff is great. This is a very good way to do it. The flip side of that is sometimes you do something and you walk out of it going, God, I'm glad I didn't pay for that ticket. There was a vampire rock opera that we went to Saturday night. And it's one of those ones where I'm not going to sit here and say, don't see it. Because if you're doing Do LA, then you can probably get free tickets to it. It's one of those where the dancing was phenomenal. Quite honestly phenomenal. The lighting, the actual performances from all of the actors, both singing and not, were all amazing. The story and the song lyrics peaked at B at best. Like B tier at best. It's, if you've ever watched Futurama, that bit with the robots, with the robot devil going, you can't just have people sing about how they feel. That makes me feel angry. Like, it was just all of the pieces of the story were there, but underutilized or put together in such a way that like all of the plot was packed into the last 20 minutes of a 75-minute show. And the first 40 minutes were just like, oh my God, we get it. Get on with it. So hard to balance that out with, again, really good performances, and phenomenal dance choreography. So I can't recommend, and it's called Blood/Love, and I'm like, Bloodlust was right there, and we didn't go for it. It's a vampire rock opera. It either needs to be dramatic or cheesy. And this one was too cheesy for how dramatic they wanted, and was too dramatic to handle the layer of cheese on top of everything. So it did not thread that needle. So I can't recommend it for like full ticket price, but it's certainly an interesting one to do if you're able to kind of sneak in like we did via a ticket service or a sale or whatever. So again, when you go do live performances, they're not all going to be winners. That's not a bad thing, but that's also why it's great to have a ticket service like this. So you can just, oh yeah, I got these for the low price of free $99. Let's see how it is. And sometimes it's, that was an amazing band and they will be on my Spotify forever. And sometimes it's, that was an evening. Let's go.
That
home.
was the thing.
That occurred.
Yes.
But yeah, I still continue to recommend live theater, live music, going out to see things, even if you've never seen it before, even if you don't know what it is. Like, just go take a risk. Wear a mask if that's how you're feeling, because I'm still very much masked in theaters, grocery stores, etc. Like, that's what I choose to do. And just have a good time. Live theater and live performances, you can't get that same vibe anywhere else. So, highly recommend it. There's going to be a community theater, a black box theater, a coffee shop, or a bar where people are performing. Like, there's going to be something around you, no matter where you are. It's just a matter of finding it.
Yes. Looking back over in the chat, Giga Derek says Marathon Ronin Warriors and Samurai Pizza Cats. Yes, classic.
Man, bringing it back around to classic geek. Dang.
But does also mention, anyone know where to watch older anime? Trying to find Tetsujin 28 and New Adventures of Gigantor.
If it's not on Crunchyroll or High Dive, your best bet might be another service like Tubi has a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and Hulu and Amazon seem to have random ones too.
Yeah.
There isn't really a easy central source to search it, but I mean, and even if you just like search on a regular search engine where to watch, those results are, take a grain of salt.
I'm pretty sure there was a service that was getting up and running that was meant for classic anime. I just cannot remember what it's called.
Yeah. Giga Derek also adds, caught up on the My Hero anime. Remember your favorite characters are probably a bit crazy. Yeah.
Oh, they are. And again, if you have not seen My Hero Academia, you're next, and you are able to go into theaters, do it. Oh my God, that movie is so much fun. Yeah. It's absolutely batshit crazy in the best way.
Untitled Purpose says, I just watched the first couple episodes of Dan to Dan the other day. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but man, it was out there. Curious to see where it goes from here. Indeed. Absolutely.
That's one of those quotes that they need to put on the like review on the poster where they put review quotes. I'm not quite sure what I was expecting, but man, was it out there. Yeah. Even with all of the friends who are into Dan to Dan, like, no one prepared me. No one adequately prepared me.
John Knight says, I finished watching Suzume dub on Blu-ray. It was so beautiful and well done. I enjoyed it. Give it a 9 out of 10. Excellent. Yes. Reminder and shameless plug, here on this channel, we have interviews with the voice actors for Suzume, so go check that out under the playlist.
Yes.
For the retro crush is maybe an old thing.
Uncertain. I don't know if that was the service. I honestly don't remember. It may not still be around.
Anybody leave comments down below if you do know. But
High Dive might have merged with it. Honestly, you might have better luck with High Dive.
Yeah, they have a lot of older ones.
High Dive has a lot of stuff. And I think they do, I don't know how long their free trial is, but I think they have a free trial. So if all else fails,
go in and go look. Yeah.
And while you're on your High Dive free trial, you can watch Ya Boy Kongming.
Yeah,
which is still my favorite. It's amazing.
All right. And yay. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in live. If you joined us live, and if you're watching later, awesome. Comment down below the different topics we talked about. And thank you, a huge thanks again to our guests for joining us, Mauricio. It's fun to talk about My Hero. And again, plugging that, check out down below. There's a a link to a playlist for the My Hero interviews. And Katie, where can people find you online?
You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. I am also on a YouTube channel called Silver Screams, where my roommate and I talk about spoopy things.
And you all can find me online at Carrie D Lane. That's KARIDLANE across all social media platforms. The big new thing was, the My Hero interview, so check those out. And stay tuned. There might be some other film festival coverage coming up soon. Stay on the lookout. Be sure you're subscribed here on the Fanversation channel and that notification bell so you know things are coming out. And don't forget to follow us over on, there we go, NTATNB, because we'll post links or announce special guests when we have those on here and all kinds of other good stuff. Just look at the chat.
And we will also talk about if we do a hiatus or take a break for any reason, we will also announce it there.
Yes. So I think that's all the main housekeeping. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching this whenever you watched it. Happy to have you here, and we'll see you next time.
Happy spoopy season.
Woo.